Hi guys, welcome to this newest video. My name is Johan. Next to me is Huib Dijkstra from VMware. And today we're going to talk to you about the Workspace ONE offering from the cloud that VMware has and how to connect that through the on-premises components that you might have in your environment. So Huib, you already drew some things on the Lightboard. Could you explain something about what you drew here?
Yeah, so we've got a typical customer on-prem environment containing Exchange, some infrastructure services, file servers, and a Horizon environment on-prem. And we've got a Workspace ONE offering from the cloud with identity and access management and unified endpoint management or AirWatch.
Right, so Identity Manager IBM is the identity and access management
exactly.
solution, right? Okay.
Exactly. And we've got an example here. Let's call him Bob, I don't know.
Yeah, so Bob.
And we're going to provide Bob with these services from the data center and hopefully do some smart things with his multiple identity he currently has. So he has multiple accounts for web applications, I don't know, Salesforce, Concur, on-premise identity.
Tons of devices.
Tons of devices, desktop, laptop, tablet, smartphone. You tend to see that more often, people having multiple devices. So we drew them all. So let's see how we can connect all these things and all these components. So first up, we're going to need a primary identity within Workspace ONE. That's going to be Bob's main account, and he's going to use that to access all the files and applications he's going to use. And we're going to do that through our first component called our Enterprise Systems Connector. And to be clear, this is within the data center, so let me draw a line here. So you're going to install this into your data center, and we're going to link this up in this example through Active Directory.
Right, so the AD is connected towards the Enterprise Systems Connector, and the Enterprise Systems Connector is connected towards IDM and AirWatch.
It's connected over 443.
Right,
and
so plain HTTPS.
Yeah, exactly. And in this case, it's going to sync our user Bob into our Workspace ONE identities directory.
Right, and that's just like the principal name, stuff like that, but no passwords, right?
No.
No, okay.
All right. So next to our primary identity, we're going to sync up Radius, our certificates, Radius for multi-factor authentication, and you could also do email traffic through SMTP relay.
But that won't be like the best practice to do that, right?
No, this is very plain. If you want to have multiple features that integrate with Workspace ONE, you're better off installing the second component called our Secure Email Gateway. This is going to act as a gatekeeper in front of your Exchange environment, for example, and it's going to publish out your email traffic. But it's going to do this with integration within Workspace ONE. So we can do a check, is the device secure? Does it meet my compliance rules?
We even saw customers using the SEG in front of their online Office 365 service that had a direct connect from their on-premises solution towards the cloud.
Yeah, you tend to see that more often, people that syncing their directories into Azure as well. You could choose to go directly, so not go on-prem, but if you have a direct access method installed, then you could do that for sure. So that's our second component. What it also can do is, next to the compliancy rule set, is translate our HTTP links towards the AirWatch browser, so we can, in a secure way, access certain websites, and it's going to allow you to send out encrypted files through your email traffic, and it's going to open them up with Content Locker.
Right, okay. So you mentioned files. How would that work with other files, like files that exist on premises? Yeah,
so for that you're going to need the third component, and I think you already know this, but it's the UAG.
Right, so that's the Unified Access Gateway that we might already know from Horizon.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, okay.
It's from the Horizon family. And it's also going to help you publish your desktops towards Workspace ONE.
Right.
So you can access your desktop through the Workspace ONE portal. But it's going to also allow you to sync up with Content Locker and connect your internal file servers, so in your internal on-prem file servers, within through Workspace ONE within Content Locker on your devices.
Right, and I also heard that there's like a service or a feature called the per app VPN. Is that something that the UAG would offer as well?
Yeah, it's that's something that the UAG does as well. So it can do a per app VPN. For example, if you have a mobile application which requires a connection to your internal file server because you've automated some sort of process. Let's say that server is here. You can connect that to there as well.
Right, and am I right that NSX could be leveraged to secure that connection even more?
No, you're correct. Exactly.
Right,
That's where it integrates with Workspace ONE.
Right. Okay. Awesome.
So we've drew all the on-prem stuff, and you can include applications in there as well. But we haven't mentioned the web applications.
Yeah, because a lot of customers already have their web apps like Concur or Salesforce or others.
So because we've now synced up our primary identity towards the Workspace ONE, we can now federate that set of multiple identities towards public applications, public web applications.
So you would use your primary on-premises identity to authenticate to SaaS and cloud-based apps. Am I right?
Yeah, exactly. That's what's going on. It's going to do that based on SAML or OAuth, and hopefully we're going to create a scenario in which Bob doesn't have to remember so many accounts, but can use only his one.
Right. So one password.
Yeah.
Wow. Right, and I'm right that you could use, for instance, stuff like your on-premises radius for multi-factor authentication in front of the web and cloud-based apps.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Right, that's really powerful. So we talked a little bit about security, but also heard that there's an extensive framework called the Workspace ONE Intelligence Framework that could be leveraged to make this even more secure.
Yeah.
How would that work?
So there's a lot of communications between your devices and Workspace ONE.
Stuff like logging or
yeah, exactly.
Right.
Typically stuff that you would look at individually. So you're going to dig in one certain log to find something. But if you want to create an overview, we've now got an offering called Workspace Intelligence. And this is going to allow for the consolidation of all those log files. It's going to put them into a big data lake. And it's not going to just sit there. It's going to, you can create dashboards in here. Or reports.
You can also like automate stuff based on the information there, right?
Yeah, so a report you would generate if you want to have a monthly record of how your environment is doing. Dashboards are mainly, I think, for IT.
Right.
So to have an overview of how all their devices are doing currently in their environment. You can define actions.
Right, so for instance, if a user normally works from Amsterdam or London and suddenly someone signs in from Beijing with that account, would that be?
Yeah, if that's something you've created in your dashboards as an anomaly, if this happens, then do this, and the do this is the thing you're going to define into your actions.
Lock an account or block access to.
Well, actually,
to
that's the automation stuff. It can do that as well.
Wow.
But this is going to replace your old beeper system.
Oh, right. Okay.
So it's going to send either a message out to your employees, hey, we've got an issue with our application server here. You might experience a loss in data or something else. You were talking about automation.
Right.
So we're detecting increasing log times. We're going to make sure it jumps to a different horizon environment.
Wow.
Or, I don't know, since the deployment of a new app, we're seeing that the response times have doubled. We're going to roll back the version with automation.
Cool. Awesome.
All right, I think this is it. This is the overview of how you can connect your traditional on-premise data center with a Workspace ONE Cloud offering
With a lot of innovative solutions.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Without having to rebuild a lot of stuff or migrate a lot of stuff you're hosting in your own data center to the cloud. You can keep it all there and then link up with the cloud.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. Guys, thanks for watching. If you have any questions about the Workspace ONE intelligence part, Workspace ONE as an offering, or all the on-premises components, drop us an email. Our email accounts are right here. Thanks for watching and see you next time.